Hello there. I thought I'd do a video rather than a write-up, mainly because I haven't got the time and so much has been going on. I picked up my new boat back in June the 10th in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And with a buddy of mine and I, we brought the boat along the southern coast of Ontario to Kingston, where we stayed a week in preparation, stocking up the boat and odds and ends before heading up the Rideau Canal. So we did the Rideau Canal. Took 5 days, and we were able to dock right downtown in Ottawa on the canal, right in front of Parliament Hill and across from the Chateau Laurier. And they only allowed us to stay for 3 nights. I left my friend there who helped me out. And I have a new crew member, a very nice lady out of Western Canada, who's joining me, mainly because of the locks. My boat is basically a tri-level and with lots of canvas. And as such, it really catches the wind. And in the locks, I found it difficult trying to do it alone. Well, I haven't even tried. I anticipated it would be, and it was difficult. In fact, in one instance, even hit the starboard side of the boat against one of the walls coming out of the lock because of the current and the winds. Anyway, we docked downtown Ottawa. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that the water level was a fair bit lower than normal. That made it difficult coming up the canal. A lot of places we were going through mud. And unfortunately, in one instance, we were coming around a curve in a narrow section of the river, and 3 power boats, about probably 25 to 30 feet long, were coming the other way, going fairly quickly, and they didn't stop. And basically, their wake successor pushed me out of the channel, which was very narrow at that point, and I hit rocks, so I damaged my props. And then arriving in Ottawa on the docks, there was a long space where there weren't any boats docked. And I thought, well, I'll pull up there because otherwise it's very packed. And there was a red line, so I knew it indicated something. Unfortunately, what I didn't know was they had just freshly painted the red line, but didn't put out any signs to warn that fresh paint or don't dock here. So I ended up with red paint on my gel coat on the decks. And I still have not been able to get it off. And Parks Canada wouldn't take any responsibility. So needless to say, I was not pleased. Oh, and then in the last section of the canal, just when I could see where the dock was, the weeds were terrible in the canal, very bad. I have dual engines, and one of them conked out. And obviously, right away, I thought it's clogged the intake. So I slowed down as best as I could. There really wasn't any place to stop along the way, and hoped I would make it to the dock. Unfortunately, going under the Laurier Bridge, which was 2 bridges prior to where you would dock along the side, my second engine conked out. I drifted over to the side under the bridge, and I have a 20-foot height due to a crane on the top, or where my dinghy is. It hit the crane and basically damaged it to the extent that I'd have to buy a brand new one. Once again, I spoke to the powers that be at Parks Canada, and they will assume no responsibility whatsoever. So I'm a little upset with them. So you might want to take note that the water level is quite a bit lower than normal, and the weeds are really bad in the canal section in Ottawa, and I mean really bad. So I'm now back in Kingston, Ontario on the hard at Kingston Marina, and I'll be here about a week and a half having my props repaired. I'm estimating between the propeller repairs and being hauled out and sitting on the hard for about a week and a half, I'm probably looking at around $4,000. So it was an expensive lesson. Next time I'm not going to move over for at all. They can darn well do it. So, other than that, this is the start of my America's Great Loop cruise around the loop. So far, it hasn't been very good, to say the least. Fortunately, I have a set of weaver davits on the swim platform, so I just have to get the attachments for the dinghy itself, and that's what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to spend another $2,500 to get a new section for the crane. On top of everything else, it's just too much. Other than that, we're looking forward to the rest of the loop. Hopefully we won't touch bottom on the Trent Severn waterway, because I understand they also are down somewhat. We just have to be doubly careful, triply careful, because we were careful as it was. But sometimes there's not a lot you can do. I love the boat. I will put a separate video out on the boat. It's very nicely equipped. I have upgraded the chart plotter to a new Raymarine, and I have a Raymarine autopilot, so they'll be networked. Other than that, I'm not really planning now to do any other major upgrades. I don't really need to. The boat is very nicely equipped. And really looking forward to doing the rest of the loop. I'm planning to spend 3 months during the winter in the Bahamas. So that should be very nice. And my lady that's on, I brought her on mainly for the locks, so she most likely will be leaving in Mobile, Alabama. I'm used to sailing solo. I've owned 2 sailboats previous to this, and spent the last 6 winters before the pandemic sailing the Caribbean and Central America, and really enjoyed that. So this is a big experience, and certainly a major change of boat to go to a power boat. I have twin Cummins diesels with 150 horsepower in each, and so far have been extremely impressed with the mileage. And no, I can't tell you what it is because I haven't worked it out yet, but I can tell from having had purchased fuel that it's very good. Now, mind you, we are only doing about 5.4 knots along the Rideau after the damage. But you can only go a maximum of 10, and in many instances a lot slower than that. On that note, I hopefully will soon start posting comments on my blog and some photos, etc. Thanks for watching.